The council chamber stood in silence as the guards led the human forward. Chains clinked lightly against the polished floor, echoing through the vast hall built to humble worlds. The members of the Galactic Council sat upon their tiered seats, eyes glowing in hues of cold authority. No one spoke. The verdict had already been sealed. The human's name was Daniel. He did not bow. He did not plead. He only stood at the center of the grand circle where light met shadow. Around him floated banners of hundreds of civilizations. The galaxy had come to witness justice against what they called the most unpredictable creature in existence. The accusation was simple. Daniel had disobeyed a direct council order. He had interfered in a sanctioned conflict between two outer colonies, saving an entire species marked for cleansing. To the council, it was rebellion. To Daniel, it had been mercy. The presiding speaker rose. His voice carried the weight of 10,000 laws. Human Daniel, by the code of interstellar order, you are found guilty of insubordination and violation of neutrality. Do you have final words before the sentence is carried out? Daniel raised his eyes, calm and steady. Only one thing, he said. You think this will end here. You think this execution will silence Earth? But you are wrong, the chamber murmured. The council speaker frowned. Earth has no voice here, he said. Daniel smiled faintly. It will. Then the light consumed him. No scream came. Only a single bright pulse that faded into silence. The council called it a victory for order. The spectators called it necessary. And far away on a small blue world orbiting a quiet star, a transmission arrived. It was short. A single sentence. They executed him. The message reached every screen, every channel, every command post across Earth and her colonies. For a long time, no one spoke. Then slowly something began to stir. Factories that had lain quiet since the end of the expansion wars came to life. Dry docks opened. Engines that had not roared in decades began to hum again. Admiral Reed stood before the orbital command window, watching the planet turn below. They've crossed the line, he said. Beside him, a young officer hesitated. Sir, the council just killed one of ours, Reed said. And they think it ends there. It won't. Across the solar system, messages pulsed through encrypted channels. Sleeper fleets activated. Old flags were taken from vaults. The memory of Earth's restraint burned away. Humanity had built peace not because it was weak, but because it had grown tired of conquest. Now peace was over. The first ships left Mars within hours. They were not warships yet, but they carried what would become one. Earth had long prepared for the possibility that the galaxy might turn against it. Every colony had a contingency. Every outpost had hidden stores. They had learned from history, never again to be caught unready. At the edge of the council's territory, reports began to surface. Communication relays stopped responding. Patrol ships vanished. Trade convoys disappeared into silent space. The council ignored them at first. Pirates, they said. Disturbances in the void. Nothing worth alarm. But then entire sectors went dark. In the chambers of the Galactic Council, meetings turned frantic. Probes were sent. Fleets were mobilized. Still no sign of an enemy. Only silence and the faint electronic whisper left behind on every destroyed relay. It said, "For Daniel." Weeks passed. Then the first confirmed encounter occurred. A scout fleet from the Council border intercepted an unregistered vessel near the neutral zone. Its hull bore no known insignia. When hailed, it did not respond. When fired upon, it did not retreat. The last transmission from the scout fleet was only 2 words before static consumed the line. It's human. Panic spread through the Council. Humanity had not declared war. There had been no formal message, no demand, no ultimatum. Only quiet, methodical strikes. Every system complicit in Daniel's execution became a target. The Council ordered a coalition fleet to intercept what they called the Earth Rebellion. Hundreds of ships gathered under their banners. Their firepower could erase moons. Their confidence was absolute. When they reached the outer edges of the Sol sector, they found nothing. Empty space stretched before them. No defenses, no resistance, no movement. Then the stars shifted. At first they thought it was a trick of sensors. But one by one, dark shapes emerged from the void. Human warships, sleek and silent, surrounded them in every direction. Their hulls bore no shine, their engines emitted no flare. They were ghosts forged in darkness. The Council commander opened a channel. "Identify yourself," a voice answered. Calm, cold, unmistakably human. "You already know who we are. The commander demanded parley, negotiation, anything to de-escalate. The voice replied, "You executed one of ours without cause. You judged us by your laws. Now you will be judged by ours." Then every human ship fired at once. There were no drawn-out battles. The Council fleet disintegrated within minutes. Those who escaped carried tales of lightless ships and weapons that bent physics itself. They called them the silent engines, vessels that used the gravity of their own mass to fold space around them, technology no other species had even theorized. When fragments of the Council fleet limped home, the assembly fell into chaos. Some demanded retaliation. Others begged for surrender. None understood how Earth had advanced so far in secret. They had forgotten the one thing humans were known for. When faced with extinction, they adapted. When given peace, they built. And when wronged, they remembered. On the neutral world of Varan, a council meeting convened to restore order. Representatives from 50 species gathered in a panic. The debate stretched for hours until the lights in the chamber flickered. A projection appeared above the central table. A human face unmarked, expressionless. "This is not war," the voice said. "This is consequence." Before anyone could respond, the image vanished. Outside, every communication array melted from a directed pulse of electromagnetic energy. The entire planet went dark. By the time repair crews arrived, every database connected to the Council's judicial archives had been erased. The execution records, the trial documents, the witness logs gone. Only one file remained, the trial of Daniel. Someone had overwritten the closing statement with new text. It read, "Justice for one, fire for all." The galaxy watched as world after world cut ties with the Council. Outer colonies refused to pay tribute. Trade routes closed. Some fleets defected to join the humans. Others vanished entirely. Earth never claimed responsibility. It never issued a statement. Its ships appeared only when provoked. Yet its influence grew with every act of resistance. For many species oppressed under the Council's rule, humans became a symbol, not of destruction, but of defiance. In a hidden station orbiting a dead moon, Admiral Reed met with representatives from 3 liberated worlds. They spoke quietly in the dim light. "You can't win against the full Council," one alien said. Reed leaned forward. "We don't need to win," he said. "We just need them to fall apart." He was right. The Council had grown too vast, too arrogant, too dependent on fear. The moment that fear turned against them, their unity crumbled. One by one, member worlds declared neutrality. The Council's fleets dwindled. Its authority collapsed under the weight of rebellion. And behind it all, humanity watched, guiding the collapse from the shadows. Months turned to years. The fires spread farther than anyone expected. Systems once loyal to the Council now flew the banners of independence. The galaxy that had once ruled through order now burned with the light of uprising. On Earth, Daniel's memorial stood at the center of the capital. It was a simple monument, a single metal column engraved with his last words. "You think this will end here?" It hadn't, it had only begun. The irony was that humanity had never wanted conquest. They had sought peace after centuries of conflict among themselves. When they joined the stars, they swore never to start another war. But when the Council executed one of their own, it reminded them that peace without respect was only submission, and so they ignited the galaxy, not to rule it, but to remind it. Years later, when the last remnants of the Council begged for treaty, they found Earth waiting. Representatives arrived under white banners, humbled and weary. Admiral Reed met them in orbit. No guards, no weapons, only a single recording device. The Council's new speaker bowed his head. "We wish for peace," he said. "The galaxy cannot endure this fire any longer." Reed studied him quietly. "Peace is not given," he said. "It's earned. You called Daniel a criminal for saving lives. You called us dangerous for defending him. Tell me, Speaker, what have you earned?" The speaker hesitated. "We have learned," Reed nodded. "Then start with truth. Acknowledge what you did, and so the Council did. For the first time in its history, it declared a public apology to a single person, and to an entire species. The decree spread across every network. We recognize the wrongful execution of human Daniel and the crimes of arrogance committed under our rule." That day, the fires began to cool. Not because humanity demanded it, but because they had proven their point. The galaxy rebuilt, slower this time, wiser. A new charter replaced the old laws of dominance. It recognized sovereignty, equality, and the right to act with conscience. The humans signed it without celebration. Reed retired quietly, watching new worlds rise from the ashes. When asked if it had been worth it, he only said, "The council thought they could erase a man to erase a species. Instead, they reminded the stars who we are.